Music videos have been used as an important asset to enhancing the overall enjoyment of songs and bringing the song to life, as sometimes just words and sounds aren't enough. Since 1894, which is when the first music video was made, they have been just a way for artists to express their craft and see their vision, and now used as a good marketing tool to push new artists and increase sales. So it's no wonder that artists take inspiration from cinema and movies and channel them into their art, whether because it fits the vibe or it's just a fun way of paying homage to their favorite piece of cinema. With that being said, in today's video we're going to be looking at a couple artists referencing horror movies in their music videos and explaining a little bit about each movie. Starting off with Doja Cat, who in her recent video for her song Demons, which I loved and I think it's a very catchy fun song, starts the video in just a basic run-of-the-mill suburban house, which is the setting of many horror movies, specifically the haunted house paranormal subgenre, with movies like Poltergeist and Paranormal Activity. In the attic, it shows a painting lit up by lightning, which is The Nightmare, an oil painting painted by Swiss artist Henry Fuseli, which depicts a woman in deep sleep with her arms thrown below her and a demonic incubus crouched on her chest, which Doja early on emulates with the queen of acting, Christina Ricci, who in her own right has cemented herself as a horror alumni by starring in movies like Sleepy Hollow, Cursed, Yellow Jackets, and horror adjacent projects like Casper and Addams Family movies, and even the Netflix reimagining with Scream Queen Jenna Ortega. Doja is then seen sitting in a bathtub, which is nearly identical to The Shining's bathtub scene where Jack Torrance encounters an elderly female ghost. Then, the demon hand reaches from the water and touches Doja's head, which I could see being a reference to A Nightmare on Elm Street, but I was more reminded of the shower scene from The Grudge. Kids are shown sitting in front of a TV playing Static, like Poltergeist, and Christina Ricci grabs a big ass camera, which reminds me of Paranormal Activity and maybe slightly Blair Witch Project, but that could be a stretch, or literally any found footage paranormal movie. In the attic scene, for a split second, you can see Christina Ricci being dragged off camera with night vision setting on, which is a definite reference to a Spanish horror movie named Rec. Not the American remake, Quarantine. Doja again references Poltergeist with the chair she's spinning in being the exact model of chair that is shown in the scene where the mother in the movie looks away and looks in the dining room and sees a bunch of chairs stacked when they weren't previously, and even share a similar style of kitchen to Poltergeist. Moving on to a couple more little Doja horror references. In Agora Hills, towards the end of the video, Doja can be seen in a tanning bed, which feels like a subtle reference to the tanning bed scene in Final Destination 3. My favorite Final Destination, might I add, where best friends Ashley and Ashlyn get fucked up by a tanning bed. At Doja's iHeartRadio performance from 2021, she is shown dancing in a cornfield with aliens and later gets abducted. And while the aliens are not similar to the ones in Signs, be honest, what other popular mainstream alien movie comes to mind that have cornfields in them? In Doja's MTV EMA performance, Doja crawls out of a TV with long black hair in a white dress, an obvious reference to The Ring, both the American and the original Japanese version of the movie. Doja's Scarlet character is definitely a reference to the end of Carrie, where she is soaked with pig's blood and goes on a revenge rampage against her classmates. Reference to True Blood. Doja's Agora Hills music video nods to liminal spaces and analog horror, which with its glitchy settings and editing and super familiar backgrounds like the bedroom, which gives off everyone's grandma's house, and the warehouse towards the end, which is very obviously Backrooms inspired. And finally, while not an overt reference to anything specific, in the Paint the Town Red music video, Doja is seen throwing huge chunks of meat, which I take as feeding the beast in some kind of way, as the beast is actually all of us, which I think is pretty cool symbolism. Now for another artist, Nicki Minaj. Nicki's eccentric bars and knowledge of pop culture to pull from for her raps makes her stand out, along with her crazy style, as in the My Chick Bad music video, she rocks a finger knife glove, which is the iconic weapon used by Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street, and her dark makeup with this look gives off Edward Scissorhands, which to no surprise also has knives for fingers. Nicki also references Freddy Krueger in her bars,
you better hold on to your teddy. It's Nightmare on Elm Street, and guess who's playing Freddy?
and even Freddy's fave person, Jason Voorhees, in the line,
"It's going down, basement, Friday the 13th, guess who's playing Jason?"
Nicki gives crazy doppelganger vibes in the music video for Kanye's Monster video, and while not being a reference to anything, it's still pretty fun and creepy at the same time, as Roman Zelensky's Nicki's alter ego, who looks very similar to Nicki, holds Nicki's other alter ego, Barbie, captive and tortures her while they rap back and forth, and even give a shout out to Charles Lee Ray in the verse.
Say boy, the Chucky is child's play, just killed another career, it's a mild day.
Which is, shocker, a nod to the two movies in the same franchise, Child's Play from 1988, which is the debut of Chucky the Killer Doll, and the fourth movie in the franchise, Bride of Chucky, which is the debut of Tiffany, who's played by the Queen, Jennifer Tilly. For the 53rd annual Grammys, Nicki performed her song Roman Holiday off her second album, Pink Friday, Roman Reloaded, which continued the crazy bars and eccentric nature of Nicki and her alter ego Roman Zelensky, which Nicki made a short film for before the performance, showing a priest coming to exorcise Roman, who was rubbing lipstick on his face, crawling on walls, and just acting demonic and possessed.
What's your name?
Roman! Take your medication, Roman. Take a short vacation, Roman. You'll be
A reference to the 1973 classic The Exorcist, and during the performance, Nicki starts floating like Reagan does in the film. Madison Beer, who is gorgeous and has often been compared to, and I say resembles, Megan Fox, put out the video for her song Make You Mine, which features her as basically Jennifer Check, recreating scenes from Jennifer's body, such as the slow motion walk down the hallway, the leaning against the lockers, talking to her version of Anita, aka Needy, and the swimming scene. And by changing up the narrative, as most of you know, in Jennifer's body, Jennifer is turned into a succubus by emo boys and starts eating boys, so very supernatural in its approach as compared to Madison's video, which shows her version of Jennifer, who is not supernatural but is instead a killer who is luring a specific boy to kill him, and even Needy helping her, as opposed to Needy in the film, who is trying to stop Jennifer from killing anyone else, and even kills Jennifer at the end of the movie. Foo Fighters' song Everlong, which is one of my fave songs from them, which I'm sure is most people's favorite song from them. I know I'm not a real fan, whatever anyway in the video for Everlong. The characters are going in and out of their dreams, and the wife dreams she's stuck in a cabin that looks very similar to the one in Evil Dead, and has someone sticking their hand out of the basement door, which is a reference to the scene of the Deadite in the basement after they lock her in there, and even features a chainsaw in the video, which is the weapon main character of the entire franchise, apart from 2 films Ash Williams uses.
Groovy.
Horror's impact on this new generation and previous generations before has shown as the popularity of horror has boosted so many horror icons, movies, and lines into the mainstream, having a lasting stay on pop culture and helping keep horror alive. Anyone who watches this video, I appreciate it, and thank you for watching. This is just something I'm kind of doing, not for anything specific, just because it's like a hobby, and I don't know, I just feel like I have a lot to say about horror movies specifically because that's my favorite genre. And yeah, so hopefully there's gonna be more videos coming soon if anybody cares or likes it at all. But yeah.
Drop it to the floor then. Now lean